So welcome back. On the cyber side, someone out here got hacked without clicking a single thing, not a link or an attachment. Then CISA, the agency that's supposed to secure the whole federal government, allegedly left their own password sitting on the internet. We're also talking about 1.8 million New Yorkers who had their medical records and their fingerprints stolen. A hotel app exposed over 1 million passport scans with zero password protection.
Law enforcement just took down a VPN that the entire cybercrime underground was using. 2 American tech executives just pleaded guilty to building the infrastructures that let scammers drain elderly people's bank accounts.
The Harry Potter HBO series just dropped its full cast and premiere date. The Michael biopic also just crossed the $715 million mark, and a sequel is already confirmed. And last but not least, what do I think again about the DJI Pocket 3?
So let's get ready for the show. Welcome back, everybody, to the Techtual Talk. I'm your host, HD.
And we got Cybershortieee in the house. Hey, y'all.
Y'all hadn't seen us in a while, but first thing foremost, if y'all are here right now, thumbs up, hit like, bell icon, make sure you hit all on everything. And if you want to be really notified, join the Patreon for as low as $2 a month or $24 a year. Really helps us out. And in the highest tier, if you join that, you actually get a free consult with me after a month of being on the Patreon, or we'll rope Cybershortieee in after we get some more people in there. Now, what you been up to?
I've been outside. You know how I do. No, honestly, for real, I have been doing all things to prepare for my book signing, which is next month. So, you know how it is when you are preparing for an event and also preparing to kind of release Who is Cybershortieee to the public. So it's been a lot of fun, lots of meetings and conversations and driving all across the DFW, you know, all that good stuff. What about you?
For me, you already know I've had like a crazy last couple of days.
Last 72.
The weather was bad. It really wasn't even bad. And I was flying out of Connecticut. And that took a minute to I'm talking about, they brought us on the plane at like 6:20 Eastern. We didn't leave from the airport till like 8 something Eastern. By the time, because my flight was supposed to leave at 10:40 Eastern time. By the time we got there, it already said it was delayed. So I'm delayed in Atlanta, stinking. Went to go get in the hotel, stay there already mad. And the thing was, guys, I was mad because I was coming back a day early so I can see my little girl graduate from kindergarten. And then my baby sister was graduating from high school.
Oh, you didn't tell me that.
So
yeah,
now we get home on Thursday, showered and everything, get back on the road. I'm on 635, headed to Highway 80.
There was more drama?
Yeah, remember I texted you my car and stuff.
Oh, no, that was when you was going to your sister's graduation.
Yeah.
Bye.
A car in front of me, they weren't right. It wasn't bumper to bumper. They was in front of me, so I seen them swerve. So I tried to swerve too, but at the same time, everything is like a split second. So I didn't know if I had anybody directly to my left or my right of me, and I didn't want to cause a worse wreck on those 635. So I swerved, and I thought I swerved enough, but I didn't. Whatever it was like a black thing.
It was something in the road.
It wasn't super big. I think it flew off somebody's car or something. Mm-hmm. And it hit the right side of my car, which made it shatter my radiator. And
what? You did not say that.
Yeah, because at first when I sent you, I thought it was just my tire.
I thought it was just a tire.
So I had to wait like
a long time.
However long to get there just for that. It's like, yeah, it's a good thing you didn't try to put a spare on and drive it here because you had already leaked all your fluid out. So I had to get a rental, and I didn't go to my sister's graduation either.
Oh my goodness.
I was like, bro, this is one of the weeks. And it was funny as Giselle was like, something they tell you shouldn't have tried to go since nothing was going right for you. I was like, yeah, but at the same time, it's hard to tell your sister, hey, I had a bad day. I don't want to come.
Yeah, facts. I've heard one graduation,
Right. So all in all, I was like, I think that was pissed off that I found out that my grandma fell up the escalator at the graduation. She okay, but I'm just like, it was just too much going on.
That's a lot. That's enough. For already the day you was having was enough, and you add that on top, that's more than enough.
Facts, guys. All right, guys, let me show y'all some of the stuff I've been working on over here real quick. let's see. There we go. So we got some of today's topics right here. I do not know what the first one that we are going to get into is, but while we are waiting to kind of get together, I think also I want to briefly talk about one of the videos I made on social media was about job search etiquette. Mm-hmm. And, well, not job search etiquette. It was more so on how recruiters are, like, fake recruiters are posing as real recruiters and trying to get people to pay for resumes on Fiverr. Yeah. You know the video I had where, like, a client, well, really he wasn't a client.
I'm getting aggravated.
Yeah, he wasn't a client yet. We had a consultation call, and he was like, yeah, this recruiter reached out to me from Intuit. I say, send me the job rec. Now, I didn't pay no mind because I've talked to recruiters from Intuit in the past where, like, because Intuit owned Credit Karma too, and they was paying the bag. So he sent me, like, something for, like, a senior help desk that was paying, like, 6 figures. So I didn't think nothing of it. And at this time, they're not my active client. Normally, when you're my active client, I say, send me a link so I can go check and everything else. So all he had was, like, a job description in a Word doc. And I ended up doing his resume the week before. So the next week, I was checking up with him the whole time. Yo, what's the update? What's the update? I ain't got no update. So finally, he sent me back what the recruiter said. And I was like, that's odd. I was like, why does the recruiter keep on telling you about ATS when they reached out to you? I was like, you don't have to worry about beating ATS once you're already talking to the recruiter. And he was like, man, I don't know either. So needless to say, I kind of do some more digging. I said, send me the email they sent it to you from. Send me this recruiter's name and all this stuff. So they was posing as a real recruiter. But the biggest thing was that I don't think he paid attention to the domain or where they sent it from. It was, I can actually look for it, but it was like it had some into it at Gmail. I said, oh, that was the red flag.
At Gmail.
The ATS was a red flag when I know I just did your resume. I've never had a recruiter ever say something about ATS after I did a resume for them and sent it to somebody. And I was like, it just sucked because, they prey on a lot of people.
Yeah, and if you don't know, if you don't have nobody in your corner that can spot some BS like that, you put yourself in an unfortunate. Your hopes are up. You're happy. You might be having conversations with your spouse, with your family about this might be looking up for me.
Yeah, and then so he was upset, but at least he didn't give him no money to get like some BS Fiverr resume because you already had a resume made. But also the other thing I did is like I tell people all the time is go to the career site, see if the rec is there. I didn't find the rec there.
Yep.
I also looked at their recruiter. Their recruiter didn't post much on LinkedIn, and she didn't recruit for those type of roles either, based on their about. So there's a lot of different stuff that people can take away from that with all these job search scams, and just to be careful. Just don't fall for those jobs on Indeed you apply to where they give you this little fake assessment and say, yeah, we offer you the job. We're going to send you this check to get the stuff sent to your house and all the other stuff. Like the scams that's been going on for the longest. So I'll definitely say don't fall for those as well. And then later on in this conversation, I'm probably going to give you a couple quick facts for legitimate interviews, what you can do to at least knock your screening out the park and at least get your second interview.
Free gems, Jim Jopper.
Anything else to add?
I just think you just have to be careful and be mindful and open to where you're applying for roles. Like if your job applying strategy is only to, I'm only going to apply for jobs on LinkedIn, or I'm only going to apply for jobs on Indeed, that might not be a good. The
best thing for you to do?
Yeah. There's a ton of other tools and sites that are available to you outside of LinkedIn and Indeed.
For sure.
Okay, so let's talk about clicking on things as it pertains to spyware. So the era of don't click suspicious links is officially outdated. We have spyware groups like NSO. We have Intellexa and Paragon Solutions who are now actually deploying zero-click attacks, which means that your phone can be fully compromised without you actually needing to tap, click, or do something in order for that compromise to occur. So WhatsApp actually notified roughly about 90 users. Mostly of these users were journalists and maybe some civil members across Europe that they had been hit with Paragon's graphite spyware using this exact method. Apple followed with threat notifications to more users, two of whom were confirmed journalists hacked the same way. The good news is that Apple, Google, and Meta have basically built-in protection mode specifically designed to fight back against spyware. So we have Apple's lockdown mode, which will help you block risky iMessage attachments. You have link previews, unknown FaceTime calls, most web technologies, and 2G connections. If we think about 2G and 5G, we can obviously understand maybe how weak the security was back then and from a 2G perspective versus to what we're seeing today in 5G. But Apple has never detected a successful spyware attack on devices that have been running that lockdown mode. So keep that in mind. You can get that enabled under settings, going to privacy and security, and then you'll see lockdown mode. From a Google Advanced Protection Program perspective, this will help you perform Gmail scans. It is restricted to third-party access, app access, and then it's also looking at safe browsing enforcement and extra login verification. You can actually get that enabled at g.co/advanced protection. From an Android perspective, we're able to block any unknown application installations, enable memory tagging, extension against certain exploits. You also have USB, you being able to lock that when your screen is locked, and then also auto rebooting after 72 hours and blocking 2G. So that setting is under settings, security and privacy, and then you will see advanced protection. And last but not least, we have WhatsApp, which will help you block any attachments from unknowns. You can also hide your IP on calls, silence unknown callers, and disable any link previews and hide your online status. So in WhatsApp, that's under settings, privacy, and then you'll go to advanced. But I just think that spyware is always a really important thing to talk about because 9 times out of 10, when we think about it, most folks are thinking about maybe a parent trying to better understand how their child is using their devices and who they're communicating with and how. Or you also have it from the lens of like infidelity and like relationships with like spouses. So those are like the big and heavy use cases that I kind of see spyware being used. What about you?
Let's see. Where do I see it being used?
Kids and relationships.
Kids, insider threat, to anything that's competitive, of course, outside of relationships and everything else, especially when you get to politics and you talk about all the stuff that they try to do to get stuff from like politicians' phones and everything else. Mm-hmm. And it's also why it's important to not only, it's kind of like when we talk about the cloud or whatever, you got your responsibility, share responsibility model. Of course, Apple or Meta, whoever should make things to protect you. However, you should take it into your own hands of getting these profiles installed on the phones. Like if you are a parent, they have these profiles you can install on the phones to monitor what they do.
But they're not. Like most parents are not taking advantage. It's another thing for them to do and another thing for them to manage and monitor. And I do truly feel like the more you know, like if you knew better, you do better type of situation. Like if you really knew, and if you and not if you love your kid, because all parents, love their children. But like if you really knew, we're not gonna go there. But if you really knew like how just vile and nasty this online world is, I promise you would do better with your kids. You would set up that profile and take the time to decide these are the apps you can be on during these hours and these are the apps that you cannot be on during these hours. It's like if you're not technical, that's a lot. But it's so necessary. I don't know like any other way to put it. It's just so necessary.
Yeah. Most parents aren't, but you gotta also think about this too. And things that I described, also there's a cost attached. So
1,000%.
Now it would be nice. Now I'm knowing Apple.
Like financial? Yeah.
If they do develop it for parents, it's gonna be a subscription base and everybody don't have money for the subscription. So it's tough, but I just think that one of the major issues is people rush out and just get their kids technology.
They do because they're busy. I need you to be quiet. I need you to sit down. I need you to listen. You know what I mean? And it's an easy way to bargain with your child. It is,
because
I know it is. I don't have kids, but if you don't let your kid watch, anything online, and you go to a restaurant, and the only way you can get them to be quiet is if you put something in front of them to watch something that they're interested in, they're going to be quiet and tune in because they don't never get, So I 1000% do understand it.
Yeah, but like for example, she was inquiring about a phone because her classmate had one. I'm like, no.
She was inquiring.
So I'm like, if you get a phone, it's gonna be a jitterbug.
Literally, like the phones that they used to sell at
gas station. And stuff?
No, what's that store?
Radio Shack.
No, it was a girl store. Limited 2. It used to be called Limited 2, and then they changed it to Justice.
Okay.
But it was like as a girl, and y'all know. Please, ladies, tell me in the comments. Did you used to shop at Limited 2 or Justice was like as you got older? But Limited 2 was like the store to shop at. They had, cell phones in there for kids and just the poppin' pop star type of apparel. This was back in poncho days and boot cut jeans with the things on the side, like these, like
chain.
Yeah, like these. That's the type of stuff you can get from that store. Like very specific. Like it was very trendy for kids. Very trendy for kids.
Interesting. I mean,
where did you shop as a young?
I wasn't a
middle schooler, high schooler.
I wasn't a shopper. Honestly, I probably finally started like going to get clothes stuff in the mall, maybe high school. Before then, it was like whatever my mom found or if I seen something. So like you got Sears.
I was definitely heavy reliant upon mom to make it happen until like 8th grade, 9th grade was when I started telling my mom because my mom was like a name brand whore. Like my mom wasn't. My mom 1000% was, and I had to tell her like we don't have to wear name brands because this was like at that time where it was cool to wear stuff that was not name branded. I was a Rockaware baby fat shorty, like down to the
outside
T.
of like making sure I had like Nikes and stuff. Like I'm mostly Sears, because we didn't. JCPenney was gone. It was like in Bossier, so we really went to JCPenney. They said this thing like people who listen, they know about like Stage and Bells. I think it's called like Stage.
I know about Bells.
Yeah, so Stage. Then you had what else did we have? Kmart, Walmart.
Yeah.
Like I would get stuff because also
I didn't have all of that. I didn't have a whole full outfit from all of there. Yeah.
But also most of my stuff at the time we wore uniforms at school.
We did too in elementary school. Well, up until we switched to public schools. When we started going to public schools, that's when we stopped.
Yeah, so
but we did wear uniforms.
After 2nd grade.
What was your uniform colors?
At Turner, it was red and white shirts. They could be polo style, or you can have a white Oxford shirt, and then you would wear navy or khaki bottoms. So
in elementary school, at the school that we were going to, was actually downtown, but it was maroon button down collared shirts and then khaki bottoms. And then above a certain grade, I think it was middle school, high school, they wore black shirts or white shirts, black bottoms.
Okay. Yeah, like
a school, kindergarten through 12th grade, that's the school I went through until 4th grade. And I'm not going to lie, it was lit. That was lit. Like just being it's obviously segregated. It was 3 floors. So like the babies is on the main floor, preschool, kindergarten through 2nd, 3rd grade. And then upstairs you got the 2nd level, and then higher up is where, the upperclassmen were. But I thought it was just so dope being able to go to school with that age range of people.
Yeah, I think for us it was let me see. I don't know, like I said, but I'll go back to the shoes. Okay, outside of shoes, I mean, okay, I knew how to roast. I still know how to roast.
I'm screaming, and I knew how to roast.
We never had, and through school, I never had like, my parents never had like just a new good car. So like, and then by the time my brothers and them came, that's when they started getting into driving minivans. So
Do you have like a humbling story from elementary school? I have a story of this guy calling me ugly. Like he was so mean about it too.
He just probably thought you was cute.
He was so no, he really thought I was ugly.
He
for
did
real.
not.
1,000%. 1,000%.
I've been the little boy between saying somebody ugly or hitting somebody and running.
He was like I thought he was just like so cute, you know, in elementary school, and he was actually my best friend's cousin, and he was like, "No, I'm not. She's ugly." Like,
but you know what? Though?
I'm screaming.
But you know what?
I'm
though?
literally screaming.
But back as little boys care.
Why would he say that?
They care more about what their friends think than versus what they think.
Yeah,
So
you do.
If everybody else is like, man, she ain't cute, whatever. I ain't trying to talk to her. But
he's the first boy that made me cry.
Really?
Like I was
tell your brother?
I was distraught that he was like so mean to me.
Did you go tell your brother?
No, but I like cried like dramatically listening
How
to
old were
like
you?
in like 4th grade. I remember like because he was my best friend's cousin. I remember like being in her room because she had like a cute, you know, having a cute room as a girl was a big thing back then. I don't know how it is for these girls
I
today.
think it's still the same.
But like she had the cute room and, you know, it was real girlsy and we was in there listening to Bow Wow and Jagged Edge.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like the first song I ever cried to.
Yeah, I think he was being. How's he look now?
We're actually like friends. We're
Did he ever
cool.
apologize? Say I'm sorry.
I don't even bring it up because he know what he did. You know, he know how he was acting. I ain't gotta bring it up. But like I haven't talked to him in years. But like there's no like we did get cool enough. Like especially freshman year in high school. Like we were very very cool.
No,
with
funny
each
thing
other.
is like the young boys never listen to the adults. Like normally, and not in a not in some type of sick type of way, right? But you know, some girls are late bloomers. And
Yeah.
some little girls, they've been cute their whole life.
Mm-hmm.
And then some, you can say they going through their little stage and they
Yeah.
can be cute. So there'll be times when like the old heads be like, hey, you know, she gonna be cute when she go or whatever. And you know,
You don't listen.
of course you ain't
Yeah.
listening. Then you like get over like, dang, he was right. Like
I think my favorite thing is the people who were treated like they were lames. Like those are the people that are actually stable and got their lives together today. And I love that. And
It's always
I
been
think,
like that.
and I think that would be like my advice to my kids is like, you better be careful how you treat people because you don't know who these people will become. You know who's gonna be a loser. And I'll promise you, my mom has never been wronged about who was gonna be a loser. She was like, she's gonna be a loser. She's gonna be a loser. She's gonna be a great person. My mom was very spot on with that. And I think it's important as a parent for you to kind of let your kids know that it's okay to be kind to people that are different than you. Because, you know, we kind of grew up in that kind of, I mean, there's still bullies, but we grew up in that if you ain't got it on, if you ain't dripping, you a lame, you a loser type of era. And those people are doing very, 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 very well for themselves, better than the people that was popping. Everybody who was popping in high school peaked in high school.
well, I'm gonna say this.
Most people.
Yeah, there's some people who they were. It's two different things. You had super cool people.
Mm-hmm.
Then you had popular people. Then you had the people that just weren't doing nothing. A lot of the popular people are still doing well in life. The cool people struggled a bit because they focused on being so cool that was their peak. They was smashing and dashing all the girls, everything. Like they had a time.
I feel like a lot of the girls that I looked up to when I was growing up, that's all.
But I think too is always
Like they're not.
But I always was never like, that's what I'm saying. I always did all my work. That's why I got in so much trouble. I would do my work and then I have nothing to do. But
So he said, y'all.
nah, literally, I stopped getting rolled up probably about my junior year in high school.
Junior is crazy.
If
You
I
are
was to-
so far up there.
If I was able to go back, I don't know if they
but
still
was
got
your
on
high
record.
school cool though?
Yeah.
Like you was like what they was not you, but like was they cool to where you wouldn't really get like?
No, I was
you know
getting in
what I mean?
trouble.
No, see, my high school was cool. Like senior year, junior year, I took basically all the core classes.
But
and
the stuff I got in trouble for, I deserved to get in trouble for. It wasn't like it wasn't something I should not get in trouble for.
No, see, I wasn't trying to get in trouble.
I wasn't either.
But they were like super chill though. Like I had a marketing class and I remember calling my mom on the phone in class and was like, did my package, did my acceptance letter come? And my mom opened up my first acceptance letter and was like, girl, you got accepted. I remember that. And I was in school when I found out, and obviously I was able to share it with everybody at school in that moment. But that was in class.
Interesting. Like for me, I did a lot of stuff. That'd be like some Patreon worthy stuff where I tell everybody like,
don't
so
do this.
I wasn't like bad, but I was like mischievous. But then I grew out of it. I finally grew out of just like getting in trouble.
Yeah, because I mean, you do get burnt out one day. Like you.
Then when he burnt out, I think I just grew out of like I had to grow out of not always having the last word or arguing back and forth. Like I didn't because
you was a last worder.
For sure.
What?
I wasn't gonna let you win.
I wasn't gonna let you win in sending me.
Because you know what? A lot of adults had a habit of not treating teenagers with respect.
That part.
So they felt like they could say anything to you.
Because it was like, I don't care about how a kid feels, but you should care about how a kid feels to an extent, you know?
So that's why a lot of them teachers used to get embarrassed by the quick-witted black kids because, like, that's not what we doing. My parents don't talk to me like that.
And you know how quick-witted you got to be when you got older cousins and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
People that you can clap back to.
That was the whole thing when it came to roasting.
I never was a roaster.
Really?
Nah, not for real. Do I look like a roaster? I look like a nice, wholesome,
you
kind
never know.
person.
You never know. That's why
I was just wholesome and kind.
That's why I proceed with caution. With everybody.
Proceed with caution is so funny.
Let me see. What do you have me on right here? CISA admin leak AWS Gov Cloud keys on GitHub. Let's see. So here's what happened actually, step by step. A contractor working for CISA uploaded a spreadsheet to a public GitHub repository. That spreadsheet contained plain text passwords, AWS Gov Cloud access tokens, and other sensitive cloud credentials. Public means anyone on the internet could view and download the files, no login, no authentication, no nothing. GitGuardian researcher, I don't know how to say his dude's name, Ghulam Valadan, found the exposed credentials and tested them. They were valid and active. Valadan tried to report it directly to the contractor who maintained the GitHub environment, no response. Valadan then went to Brian Krebs, who published the story. CISA locked down the exposure after Krebs reached out for the comment. So I'm stopping before I read anything else because it's funny because there should be controls over what you can even upload to GitHub.
That part.
And why are y'all storing stuff in plain text and spreadsheets? But the funny thing is, CISA is supposed to be these people that's supposed to be the experts on stuff.
At protecting the government.
But I'm not going to lie, a lot of these contractors don't be knowing what they be doing.
But a lot of people, a lot of American companies don't know what they're doing. They're like, it's like trial and error, you know.
I think they do. I think it's just a culture thing where they're keeping the people out that will probably like stir stuff up.
When you know what you're doing, it becomes very troublesome and bothersome and irritating to the security team.
Yeah.
And employees for that company.
Let me finish with the CISA. The credentials gave access to CISA's own systems and systems belonging to the Department of Homeland Security. CISA's own published guidance explicitly says store passwords and secure password managers, not unprotected spreadsheets. Do not upload sensitive credentials to public repositories. But that's why you got to have zero trust. You can't just trust somebody's going to follow that. That's rule number one. Context that make this work. CISA has been without a permanent director since January 20th, 2025 when Jen Easterly stepped down. The agency has lost approximately a third of its workforce through cuts, furloughs, and layoffs under the current administration. The contractor who uploaded the credentials has not been identified publicly. CISA has not confirmed whether the credentials were accessed by anyone other than Valadan. CISA has not confirmed whether the credentials were revoked and rotated. The agency responsible for telling every government department and critical infrastructure operator how to secure their credentials left its own credentials in a spreadsheet on a public GitHub repo and didn't respond when a researcher tried to tell them. That is not a contractor problem. That is a culture and oversight problem, and it's happening at the moment when CISA is operating with a third of its staff gone and no permanent director. Cybersecurity requires people. It requires institutional memory. It requires accountability. Right now, the agency task with all of that is running on fumes. The timing with the CISA tech crunch piece Shorty is covering isn't a coincidence. They're the same story told from two different angles.
I don't know, man. I think that it's we know that layoffs are obviously a part of life, right? But I think that, like the article has said, because it's such a national security agency, why would we leave them without the proper leadership to prevail forward in protecting the security of our nation? I don't know. It's easier said than done. I'm, not pointing the finger there, but you almost feel and think like, did y'all not think that once she stepped down that there was going to need to be somebody to replace her to keep the vision going, or there should just be more emphasis, I guess. I don't know. I don't have the perfect solution, but that is not it.
It's not. And like I said, let's do something. Okay. We know you the purview queen. So hypothetically, this is a scenario question like you're on the interview. If you wanted to prevent people from uploading stuff like that to certain repositories, what type of control would you put in place for purview?
A DLP policy and also an IRM policy. DLP to help to say you cannot release this type of content from where X site. Like, you can make it specific to that SharePoint site or whatever it may be, but you can get very granular and specific to if the document looks like, if it contains this, you can get very granular there. And then just from an insider risk perspective, so you have those signals to tell you this person, HD might be trying to do ABCD, or Destiny might be trying to be doing, ABCD. So you have the bells and whistles to alert you, and you can perform that investigation and dive deeper onto those. But DLP for sure.
Yeah, I know. So from my experience of dealing with DLP, it's sometimes a lot of false positives, but true positives.
The more granular and specific you get, the better. Like, if
this
you
is
just
where I think AI helps.
Yeah, if you just set something generic up to say, like, if it contains just any credit card credentials, that's not really probably going to be the best policy. But if you get more granular to it and you say, if I see one or more instances of a credit card credential plus a first name and last name plus this plus that, you know what I mean? Then you make it.
Yeah, it's more risk-based. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like ours used to deal with a lot of false positives where, like, it would think somebody was doing something like a social security number, but it wasn't a social security number. It'd just be the number, the same amount of digits in there.
And also, I will say a lot of those like information types are you can only be as good as the type is itself. Like, I think New Zealand has like some 6 digits that's going to flag for anything. You can put any 6 digits in, it's going to think it's that, So you can only be as good as the data scheme is too with that.
Got it. Yeah. I think that's what I'll probably look for. So it's twofold. I'll think of also doing DLP alerting, but then also make sure certain DLP alerts go to my 24/7 coverage.
They need to go to the right people.
So
1,000%.
outside of the DLP and the IRM team, it should also come to your SOC team, just in case it's at a time when nobody's there, so they can actually. And this is a simple mistake, but they could have called the person like, "Hey, what did you just upload? Or we saw what you just uploaded. Please, take that from GitHub now. That's not what you're supposed to do. You're violating the policy." Yep. Or you can actually automate that with AI for security operations and say, if you see this type of thing, analyze what was uploaded, send a message to the person's manager and them about they violated policy. Please take it down. Or
I like AI in the investigation piece because it'll tell you, like, okay, these alerts require your immediate attention. These are lower level alerts. And just because, and that doesn't go hand in hand with alert priority. You know what I mean? Because it could be a low level alert, but it could be a terrible situation. And it could be a high level alert in not that big of a situation as well.
Okay. Let me see. What's your next title?
I'm going to talk about NYC Health Hospitals. and how 1.8 million people's medical data and fingerprints were stolen. So NYC Health Plus Hospitals, the largest public health system in the United States, confirmed that hackers breached their network and stole data belonging to at least 1.8 million people. This is one of the largest healthcare breaches of 2026. The attack started in November 2025 and wasn't detected until February 2026, meaning hackers had access for roughly 3 months. The breach originated through a third-party vendor that has not been named. During that time, attackers copied files that contain health insurance plans and policy information, medical records, diagnosis, medications, lab testing, and imaging. We also have billing claims and payment information, government issue IDs, so think social security numbers, passport, driver's license, and also precise geolocation data that was embedded in uploaded identity document photos and biometric data, so fingerprints and palm prints. I feel like the most alarming out of all of those is going to be biometrics because those are obviously permanent. You can't change your fingerprints, obviously, the way that you can change a password. But the breach notice didn't explain why they were storing biometric data for patients through prospective employees. They are generally required to submit fingerprints for background checks. It's not yet confirmed whether patient biometrics were also taken. It looks like they are serving over 1 million New Yorkers, the majority of whom are uninsured or rely on Medicaid, which is a population that is already obviously facing barriers when it comes to receiving health care. And now they are facing barriers when it comes to protecting their identities. And I kind of see that going forward as we start to shift. If we think about healthcare already, we've talked in time. Healthcare is one of the most attacked sectors in cybersecurity, but because that data is just worth so much on the dark web. But I think that what we will see going forward is that classism, like the class that America and the world will rank you as lower class, middle class, upper class. Is that right? Lower, middle. I think that we will start to see the lower and middle class be disproportionately affected by like their data and information being compromised or sold and things of that sort, because they feel like those people, one, they're vulnerable. Two, they don't have the resources 9 times out of 10 to protect themselves. And then when they do and they are violated, they don't really know what to do once that happens. And so it festers, right? If I'm someone of that class stature and I'm compromised and I already don't see value in, my social security number as it is, that compromise doesn't mean anything to me. You know what I mean? Versus somebody who's maybe had to work hard to bring their social security number up to said level, they're going to see that as an attack differently and handle themselves and take the steps to try to protect themselves as much as they can in that situation. I don't know.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't stop caring at this point.
I mean, and I'm with you. I'm with you there. Like, I have Meta glasses and I have an Oura ring, and a lot of people be like, "Oh, you work in tech, you work in cyber, but you have all of these." Like, I'm just like anybody else.
That's your risk acceptance.
Exactly, and I mean, they already changed healthcare. I already got a bunch of my data against my will. You know what I mean? So it's like, does the risk outweigh the benefit for you? Is kind of where I'm at with it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be exposed. You're gonna be exposed. You've already been exposed. If you think you haven't, then maybe you have good hygiene online. But 9 times out of 10, you have already been exposed, and your information is already on the dark web.
For you.
Was that dark and heavy?
I think it was good. Now let me see this. So let's switch gears real quick and look at listen to some Reddits.
Reddits? I love Reddit.
Shout out to the Serving Scandalous podcast. They actually, I think the lawyer, she's based out here, but she's from New Orleans. Because I heard her talking, and I was like, oh, I've been following y'all for a bit, and I'm from, the top of the boot. They be covering some crazy stuff. Like when I tell you the Reddit she be finding on there, like be some.
I've been seeing a lot of like healthcare Reddits, like posts, like doctors.
Now you got the hiccups.
That was a lot. I'm finna hold my breath.
Okay, so I got a good one. Okay, so let's start with this one first. This is title, guys. 20 plus final rounds, 0 written offers, 1 verbal offer that got canceled, then reposted 3 weeks later. I need someone to tell me what is actually happening because I clearly cannot see it myself. Throw away because some of these recruiters know me by name at this point. I need brutal, honest, no sugarcoating advice from people who have been on the hiring side. I'm stuck in the pattern. I cannot diagnose, and it's starting to genuinely affect my confidence and my ability to stay motivated in this search. The situation in plain terms. Over the last year, I have made it to the final round at more than 20 companies. IT, program management, business analysis, and operations leadership roles. Remote and hybrid mostly. I'm talking final panel interviews, VP culture fit calls, hiring manager debriefs, references checked, and in multiple cases, verbal confirmation that I was the person they wanted. But 0 written offers. 1 verbal offer that the hiring manager personally called me about and said, you will have it in writing by end of week. And a week came silence. I followed up 3 days of nothing. Then an email saying the role was canceled due to internal reorganization. That exact same role, same title, same description was reposted 21 days later. I never received an apology or an explanation. The excuses I have actually been given across 20 plus companies, real language paraphrased. We moved on to another candidate, role reposted within 30 days. The role has been put on hold due to budget constraints, role reposted 2 weeks later. We decided to go with an internal candidate. LinkedIn showed an external hire the following month. We are restructuring the team. The team grew by multiple headcount within 30 days. We need someone with slightly more domain-specific experience. The person they hired had fewer years in the field based on public LinkedIn data. The hiring manager has decided to take the role in a different direction. Role description was word for word identical when reposted. We had an exceptionally strong candidate pool, and it was an extremely difficult decision. Copy, paste, none, answer with 0 substance. The business has decided to pause all external hiring temporarily. 3 other roles at the same time, company reposted the same week I received an email. We felt your background was a strong fit, but ultimately went with someone whose experience more closely aligned with the current needs. I had more directly relevant experience than the job description required. After careful consideration, we had decided to move forward with other candidates at this time. No specifics, no feedback, no explanation, no humanity. Every single one of these turned out to be a polished half-truth or an outright fabrication based on what I could verify afterwards through LinkedIn job boards and public hiring data. What I know for certain. The problem is not my resume. I get consistent recruiter outreach and pass screening regularly. The problem is not early stage interviews. I advance through phone screens, technical rounds, and first panels consistently. The problem is not communication. I'm experienced, articulate, and comfortable in high-stakes conversations. I've been told multiple times by recruiters, mid-process things like the hiring manager loves you and you are exactly what we are looking for. The verbal offer situation, because this one deserves its own paragraphs. 4 rounds of interviews, final panel, references checked. Hiring manager called me directly unprompted and said the words, we want to offer you the role. You will have it in writing by the end of the week. I mentally began winding down other applications and the week arrived, nothing. I followed up professionally. Recruiter said, let me check on the status. 3 days of silence, then a formal email saying the position had been canceled due to an internal reorganization. No phone call, no apology, no acknowledgement that a human being had restructured their job search around a verbal commitment that turned out to be worthless. That same role was reposted 21 days later with the identical job description.
Please buy.
I have never received a real explanation for any of this, not once across 20 plus companies. I'm not looking for sympathy. I'm looking for the kind of feedback most people are too polite to give. If there's something I'm doing or signaling that is killing my chances in the final stretch, I would rather hear the painful truth on Reddit than burn another year getting this close and walking away empty-handed every time. I definitely feel them on some of these things.
Okay, hear me out. Now, that things do happen, you know, or companies are reorged 1,000. I mean, and they could get back in a position to be able to hire for that same role in 21 days. So I don't think that that's not untrue. I just think from the outside looking in, you know, it's obviously a completely different experience. I can sympathize with the fact that you and we would like to be like notified, like, hey, we would like a more personable message response, but that's a lot to do and ask of a lot of different candidates. Like, some of these positions have thousands of applicants. They can't send 1,000 people.
When you make it to,
and granted,
well,
that's a different stage, because he actually made it first round, second round, third round. Like, he made it further past. So his, he could want some what's not experience. He could want some
more communication.
Yeah, like on what didn't or did go well there. I 1,000,000% understand his side, and I also understand like what actually truly happens in these organizations for candidates to feel the way that they feel. Like, I get, and I'm happy that I have both of those perspectives, because if you only have the perspective of the candidate, you always gonna feel shortchanged, and like, maybe your needs aren't being met. But when you really understand how these companies are trying to function and maintain things and grow and do bigger and do better, like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, so I've been there. I've had it to where I went down to Afrotech thing. I had a whole offer. Technically, it was verbal, just for it to get pulled because they was unsure about the company the next year. But they was true to their word. They said, when we reopen it, we're going to reach out. And they did. Mm-hmm. But by that time, I already took something else. I wasn't on the market anymore. I got a client right now. I talked about it some episodes back, but she's been interviewing with a company to where, so much so, it's pretty much candidate 1A and 1B. So they hired 1A for the first role, and they were saying where they don't have the experience, you do have the experience, so we want to create another rec for you. And I was talking with her the other day because she was saying, I saw that the rec was back out, and she was like, should I apply this again, or what should I do with the recruiter? Because she had everything in writing where they told her pretty much like, hey, we're going to get this rec opened up. Honestly, the only person you need to interview with is the CEO, because like, you're killing it. And so now they was telling her that like the recruiter told her pretty much, hey, like it's your role to lose. The only reason you're gonna have to do like another interview is because you're gonna interview like with a person that wasn't a part of the last process. But there's like, other than that, the current people that's like in the process right now, they aren't as good as you. And some of them like a very high level, and they've been using like AI in the answers. So at this point, it's like still yours. So I was like, that's respectful for the recruiter actually being honest, because the recruiter, it's actually when I push for like, why are we making them do any more interviews again? Just let them talk to the CEO so we can hire her. And
shout out to the recruiters.
Yeah, so I like when people have recruiters like that fight for the talent that I already know. But no, I've seen it plenty of times. The role was canceled, rebusted. They keep on reposting the same role. I was just telling you about a situation earlier about interviewing for someone a month ago. Now in the same process again, I was like, because it's just stupid. Like there is no way sometimes to, I don't know.
Sometimes they be like, from the inside, they are told, dead it, shut it down, we're done.
Yeah.
And that is the direction, and they have to move on to something else. And I think that people that work in recruiting are not as heartless as people think that they are. These people want you to get the jobs. They want to give you the offers. They want to share the information with you. But it's not like they're a free agent and they can just do what they want. They still have to follow the direction and the guidance that they are receiving from the company, and how the company is structured, and what does success look like for the company. Success might look like, we're not hiring from this role no more right now for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I just always want folks to also think about the other person on the inside and not just themselves in those situations.
Yeah, for sure. I know, like, so they got different things on here. They're saying, like, could be some coming back on your references or all this other stuff, which that's normally when you actually do the actual
interview.
Background checks.
Yeah. That's when they find out if you said you worked there, did you actually work there?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a lot of different opinions on here. It's really hard to know what their issue is without actually listening to any of their interviews and seeing what they're saying. But it does suck, especially I should have told you bring them things.
I should have. I'm gonna say you soon.
But it does suck that you need a lozenge.
Oh my goodness. You need some water.
I'm good.
My go?
Let me see. I got one more. This is a long answer, but let's see what they say.
This is a response, like a comment?
What's likely happening is not. What's likely happening is not one single catastrophic flaw. It is probably one or two subtle issues that only become visible at the very end of the process when companies compare strong candidates against each other. And yes, the companies are absolutely giving you polished half-truth. Most rejection reasons are risk-managed corporate language, not honest feedback. They avoid specifics because legal exposure, recruiter policy, avoiding confrontation, preserving employer brand, keeping you warm as a backup candidate. So you should stop analyzing the little wording of rejections. The wording is mostly noise. At final stage, companies are rarely asking, can this person do the job? But there's a version of this that quietly triggers concern. You can accidentally come across as too polished, too rehearsed, too forceful, overly analytical, difficult to influence, politically heavy, exhaustion to manage, and this person might challenge everything. No recruiter will ever tell you this directly, but hiring managers absolutely discuss it privately. Other possibilities, you may be over-answering, something may be surfacing in references, you may be triggering overqualified flight risk, your interview style may lack emotional warmth. The fact pattern matters. If this happened 2 times badly or 5 times concerning, 20 plus times, there's almost certainly a repeatable signal you are unknowingly giving. The probability of pure coincidence becomes extremely low.
I don't know. I'm sad for the folks.
Right.
But I also I don't know. It's a double-edged sword. The more you know, the more you understand. But it doesn't give excuses to I don't want to say that and like give excuses to people who have truly had a poor experience with a recruiter. I'm not talking about that type of situation at all. I'm like recruiters that just literally ghost you and ghost you because they're not doing good at their job. They're not following the stages and steps that they're supposed to follow. Like, obviously, as you should know, when you're going through an employment process, there are stages and steps, and they have to respond to you timely to give you the offer, and you have certain amount of days to respond back and stuff like that. Like, I'm not talking about the people who are fumbling the ball there. I'm not talking about them.
Yeah. I had another one, but I think it's super long, so I will not get into that one. It may be something that I'll do another time, but it's pretty much it was like a post on how to actually position yourself to land a cyber role in 2026, not clickbait. Mm-hmm. But it was a pretty long post, and so that's something that's worth like a really good long deep dive. But since I'm still here on this topic of the job search, and we talked about this with the interviews, right? First thing you need to do is if you are coming up on a screening, if you had the time, I have a little doc that I use, and have I ever showed you the doc?
I think you did. I have one that I would typically keep to that gives you like, like who is the company, what's their mission,
Yeah,
what's their
so
values.
it's like about because like you, it's a simple thing you can press them
you
by
need
like,
to know.
Oh, I think you guys like, especially if it's not a virtual call and you on the phone. Shoot, whip out your notes.
Mm-hmm. Whip them out on that virtual call too. Just be player about it.
So get the about me, use the job description, use AI to kind of help you out with the job description, just figuring out like potential questions they could possibly ask you, but also find any company news, right? You want to seem informed, like you are actually interested, similar to like you on a date. Oh yeah, I was seeing on your Instagram.
I'm screaming.
You love to get matcha. Is it maca or matcha?
Matcha.
I see that you like matcha, whatever. But the fact that you probably seen a couple of pictures down that they like matcha or whatever. It's like, okay,
Easy
they've been kind of like
conversation.
going through my stuff and they kind of been paying attention. So pay attention to that. Rehearse your elevator pitch.
1,000,000%. Rehearse it with your friends, your fam. Like you have to rehearse it with people that you talk to often, so that so that you're not tripped up.
Not people.
I think like my best friends know what my elevator pitch sound like.
Not even you. They need somebody that's not worried about being a friend. That's gonna be mean to them.
To give them, I guess, like constructive feedback on it. Well, I'm just saying, like, you should be able to have that conversation with the people that make you feel more comfortable.
I agree, but to prepare you to talk to somebody you don't know,
You
it should
should
just
talk
be a
to
person
people,
you don't
yeah.
know. So a lot of times, because like I said, plenty of times I've gotten people, we practice
Maybe
the
we should
elevator
do
pitch.
that. Maybe that should be, a little touch we add to our event. This is 15-minute elevator pitch
That
hour.
or we do one
Yeah.
on one
This
of the
is-
live streams where we're like, hey, if you're struggling with screenings
with your
and
elevator
get past
pitch,
screenings,
come on here.
this is your live stream to join.
I love that. Let's add that. Let's add that in
That'd
there.
definitely be something. Marquisha probably definitely be interested in that.
Definitely.
But work on that because it's not your time to talk about. I'm from Wilmington.
I'm born and raised. I'm born and raised in
Michigan.
Yeah, it's
and all the other stuff. It's really about the
but
job.
to be fair, they do ask you, tell me about yourself, and the first thing you think is to yourself is, oh my gosh, I was born. You think that's not what they mean.
Yeah. No,
that's not what they mean.
Keep it short. Focus on, like I like to do a greeting before I just start yapping about myself.
I actually like to do a joke. I'd be like, I'm born and raised, and then I'll start laughing to make it a little joke. And then I would be like, no, I know that's not what you want to hear.
Or you can tell a dad joke. But I'll try that because at least you'll be remembered.
Yeah, exactly.
But mostly I like to say hey, thank you for taking the time out your busy schedule to meet with me. Even if I don't care, it's just what's the thing called?
Pleasantry.
There we go. But it's another word too I'm thinking about. You can do that and then from there, you can just overlevel like how much experience you got, what you've been doing currently, your current day-to-day tech stack that you use while you apply to the job. Boom. And then another way, while we talk about that, they never say, oh, what got you in the market? You can go and dice that a couple of ways. You can say...
You can definitely dice pineapples that.
You can say, I wasn't particularly looking, but when I came across this job description, it caught my interest. It aligns with the stuff I want to do in the future, and as well as it connects with like a purpose of mine. So like a lot of times, when it comes to recruiting to me for healthcare jobs, I always mention the Regent Striker, Change Healthcare.
Wow, that Striker situation was insane.
Like any recent thing I mention and talk about how I want to help protect not only the company, but the people who depend on this stuff for their well-being. And recruiters normally report that back to that and it will line up like a lot of goals, a mission statement. So that's the same way. So that's why it's beneficial for you to research the company and figure out what they do for that very reason. And then going from there, while you're researching what they do, you can also, what's the next part I want to say? Because my daughter threw me off over there laughing. The purpose of the screening is to try to prepare you for the next interview. So have some good questions down, simple questions. Hey, why is this role open? Why is it important? What's the hiring process like? How fast they looking to start somebody? What is the hiring manager specifically looking for to hire in this role? What has been the problem with the people you tried to hire in the past? Ask all these questions because then you can go work on everything that they said they have issues with so you can shine. So those are a little bit of nuggets, if you made it this far, that you can take with you into your next screening interview. And if you are still rocking with us right now, make sure you hit the like button.
Like.
So
okay.
I guess we'll put it back on you.
So I have a article, a hotel check-in app left 1 million passports open on the internet. A Japanese hotel tech startup called Rekia makes a check-in system called Tabik, used across multiple hotels in Japan. It uses facial recognition and ID scanning to check guests in. Excuse me.
You said passports, right? Or passwords?
Yes, passports. Passports were open. So obviously this sounds like it could be a great concept, but the way that they executed it was absolutely not that. So they accidentally set their Amazon Cloud storage bucket to public, which means anyone who knew the bucket name, which was literally Tabik, could open a web browser and view the contents. No login, no password, nothing of that sort was required. And inside of that actual bucket was over 1 million passport scans, driver's license photos, selfie verification images, and ID documents from hotel guests around the world going back to 2020. Independent researcher Sen, I don't know your first name, discovered the exposure and alerted TechCrunch, who notified Requia and Japan's cybersecurity team, JP CERT. The bucket was secure after TechCrunch reached out. The data was also indexed by Gray Hat Warfare, a searchable database that crawls publicly accessible cloud storage, meaning it wasn't just visible, it was also searchable. Amazon's cloud storage is private by default, and Amazon added multiple warning prompts years ago before data can be made public. The kind of misconfiguration that was experienced in this situation is obviously more hard to do accidentally because they put those tripwires in place to kind of help you present it. But obviously, here we are. What we are seeing is a pattern. So hotels, money transfer apps, car rental services are all asking you to upload your most sensitive government issue documents for identity verification, and not even just asking you that, but also storing them with no meaningful security. The broader context here is that governments around the world are using age verification and know your customer laws that require people to upload passports and IDs to a lot of these third-party systems. But we don't really have a standard to secure these systems in place, is basically kind of how it goes. So the Tabik exposure is exactly what cybersecurity experts are sounding alarms about. You can't mandate that people hand over these, sensitive documents without at the same time mandating that companies have to do A, B, C, D to actually protect them. I am not a fan of uploading IDs and any of that. I'm kind of like in the home buying process now, and like some things I'm just not doing. I'm not uploading. I'm not sending you. If you have a portal or something, cool, but via email, I'm not sending over any of my information like that. Absolutely not.
Yeah. I'm doing on S3 buckets.
Man.
But that's one of there we go. Crazy enough though, that's one of them rules, like you said. I think they fixed it to where it's supposed to be blocked automatically. But we go back into the blue team on when did they see that public block access was disabled?
Yeah.
And typically, most of the time you see that if a new account or something's being stood up, and if you go back into the logs, you'll see that public block access has been enabled and you're good to go. If you don't see that after it's been set up after like a couple of hours, then you should be like, hey, y'all still got this bucket, open with the rule. A lot of times somebody may say it's for testing, or they say, oh, we fixed it, or we deleted the bucket. So typically in the triage process, because funny enough, I want to say it's one of my...
Can you tell people what a bucket is?
For
the people that don't know.
Easy way, I guess, to describe a bucket is... It's just storage. So
I was just gonna say it's literally a bucket.
Yeah, it's storage in the cloud, and so it's connected to whatever account ID that you use. So, for example, let's say we create an AWS account called the Techtual Talk. So now we created a new bucket called the Techtual Talk Videos, and so now that one bucket will be videos of the Techtual Talk. So it's similar to like if you use anything like Google Drive or anything else, similar. Like the settings most of the time in the Google Drive stuff is not public, but you can change it to like the access to anybody can access it or whatever. You don't want that because somebody stumbled upon your drive, they can take all your stuff out of it, especially if they got the right access.
And what the article was saying was that there were Amazon had put in place a lot of notifications to basically help someone understand that you're about to make this data public. So it wasn't like they just hit a button and they didn't know. Like it was like, are you sure? Is you sure?
Well,
is
some
you
of
sure
these
that you're
people-
sure? One of those type of situations.
So some of the stuff I do know, like if they weren't in the console and they did this all through CLI, it could have just already did it and they weren't paying attention when they set the bucket up. But that's why you got to have defensive depth with your monitoring.
That part.
You got to
have. What is defense in depth?
If something else fails, then we got something else for you that you can't get in. So,
that part.
You would have your CloudTrail logs, which are the logs that pretty much audit activity in AWS. They would flow into your SIM, and specifically, you would see stuff like, oh, it's been public block access been disabled, or like I said, you go back through and see, has the bucket been deleted? All these different things. So what happened with these things? And then an even better tool that a lot of companies are using now, and you're gonna hear me say my favorite tool, Wiz. Wiz will also give you a guard duty alert about that. Guard duty is pretty much a combination of different CloudTrail events, and they let you know that, hey, something is an ongoing problem, please look into it. And so if they don't got none of that going on, that's the reason why like this happened, and everybody should get in trouble because it's negligence, because you have these different, if you operate a business, you're gonna have to be compliant for certain frameworks, and certain stuff can't fly.
Yeah, and a lot of people are always asking, like, how do I break into tech? Or I want to do cloud security. What we're talking about in talking about buckets and storage, like that is a specific area in cloud security that you can pursue if you're interested. So just kind of keep that in mind. Cloud security is it's an umbrella term, and you got all these things that fall under, and storage buckets are one of those things that you could solely focus on, and that be your only specialty.
I wish they could. I think they won't. I think they won't let them do it.
Who?
'Cause I think like I said, I think all the tools are getting so advanced that they're checking for stuff like that. So in another situation like this, you can have a break gas account where you will be tough because you don't want to delete the bucket. Actually, somebody had a good scenario on this. Let me see if I can find on LinkedIn. He had a great scenario about this, and I thought it was pretty cool.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm thinking about that artichoke.
I know.
I can't wait. Do you do a lot with buckets? So for me, that's more in the Azure space, and
and it blobs. Isn't it like a blob on?
Yeah, like Azure Blob, or even
Here you go. Look, I got a perfect scenario. So this is the scenario. Question of the day: cloud security. Your team just discovered that an S3 bucket containing customer data. And also, let me give credit to the poster, Samuel Tillman, staff SRE at the NBA. Your team just discovered that an S3 bucket containing customer data has been publicly accessible for the past 72 hours. The bucket was created by a developer who needed a quick way to share files with the vendor. Your role is to contain the breach and ensure it doesn't happen again. Which action do you take? Now, answer choice A says delete the bucket immediately to stop the exposure.
don't do that.
B is enable S3 block public access at the account level and rotate all IAM credentials associated with that bucket. C, make the bucket private, preserve the access logs, and begin your incident response process. Or D, notify the vendor that the file sharing method needs to change and move on.
C, obviously, that's the best answer.
Yeah.
And you could choose another answer, but you got to choose the best answer.
Yeah. I could see people choosing B if C wasn't there.
Yeah.
The fact that you preserve the access logs is the reason why C is the best part. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was pretty cool. So it was crazy. So shout out to him for putting that question today. So he actually been doing this for a while now. It's actually pretty cool. I used to do this back on the day on Instagram when I was growing. Tech execs plead guilty to running infrastructure for elderly scammers. Former CEO Adam Young, 42, of Miami, and former CSO Harrison Gevertz, 33, of Las Vegas, both pleaded guilty this week to a misprison of a felony charge, meaning they knew a crime was being committed and concealed it rather than reporting it. Here's the scheme. Between 2017 and 2022, their company, CA Cloud Attribution, provided telephone numbers, call routing, call recording, and call tracking and call forwarding services to customers they knew were running tech support fraud scams. India-based call centers would place deceptive pop-up ads on victims' computers, fake virus warnings, then direct panic users to call a number. From there, scammers would remotely access the victim's computer, steal sensitive data, and extract hundreds of dollars for fake tech support services. Young and Gevertz weren't passive bystanders. Court documents show they advised scammer clients on how to suppress fraud victim complaints, help clients avoid account termination by telephone providers, facilitated buying and selling of fraudulent call center infrastructure, continue providing services despite repeated complaints and law enforcement inquiries. Now, I'm going to stop it right there because if any of y'all have been following us, y'all know a couple years ago we talked about the movie The Beekeeper. Mm-hmm. This is literally what happened in The Beekeeper.
The Beekeeper was so good.
And then if you're on YouTube, you can watch Scammer Payback, or the other dude was like Kit Boga or whatever his name is. All they do is find the fake Indian call centers and
expose them.
BS them, let them remote into their own remote server and get on and put like viruses and stuff on that thing and try to crash the whole operation down. So that's all they do if you want to learn more about that. But the FBI's Boston division called their conduct downright despicable and noted that tech support scams cost Americans $2.1 billion last year. The investigation began in 2020 and also led to the conviction of 5 India-based telemarketing fraudsters. Sentencing is scheduled for June 16, 2026, with a maximum of 3 years in federal prison and up to $250,000 in fines. This one matters for a reason. Beyond the crime itself, these were C-suite executives at a legitimate-looking tech company who built a backbone that allows scammers to prey on the elderly, vulnerable people, and drain their life savings. They weren't the ones making the calls, but they knew exactly what the calls were for. That's the infrastructure layer of cybercrime that rarely gets talked about. Every scam operation needs phone numbers, routing, tracking, and somebody sold it to them. Now, 2 of those somebodies are headed to sentencing. More should follow. And not only that, we always talk about ethics. We always talk about ethics in cybersecurity and why it's important, why is it needed. And the people who are interviewing the people, they don't even have themselves. They're taking advantage of it. Like, of all people, Italy, why y'all no scam Sally Mae?
Bro, I just, and like, because, you know, I used to work in the financial sector. It's so sad. I used to work in the financial sector, and I also used to work with the more vulnerable population, like doing home health care work in college, and it's just really sad. They're easy. They're easy targets because at the point in life where they're at, no one really cares anymore, and that's why they're easy targets, because they don't have kids in their life that are educating them about this, or grandchildren, or, their peers are older and they're susceptible to the same things. But it's so evident and clear on why they're so vulnerable, because they just don't have that knowledge or community that, like, a lot of older people, kids don't come visit no more. Like, they don't, when they're at that home health care phase, sometimes the kids don't come visit. If they're a very close-knit family, the kids do come visit, and mom is on game, dad is on game, about, those are like, they actually sit down and have dinner and have conversations to talk about things like that.
And while we're on it, we should start a nonprofit for elderlies.
We can.
To do cyber awareness for them.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'd be fairly easy because, I know sometimes, like, I think the library and stuff, they do things like that, but,
a lot of the facilities have, directors, programming that come in to keep them busy, because not all of those facilities are they incapable of taking care of themselves. Some of these are just retirement communities, and they do have people come in to have conversations and kind of keep the juices flowing.
Yeah. No, but
I have a place we can go.
Where?
First. My cousin is the activity director at a place here in this area. Let it out.
Say it again.
My cousin is the activity director at a retirement community, and they are very able-bodied, and so that would be a great place for us to kind of pitch and have some initial conversations too. Yeah,
and then right now we can just tell the elderly people, like, my grandma, she'll unplug the whole modem. No internet.
I taught my grandma how to screenshot and how to forward messages. So, like, anything that she gets that she's questioning, she sends it to me, and she's like, she don't even say nothing, she just sent it to me. And I'm like, nope, that's fake, or you know what I mean?
Yeah. So a couple things. Microsoft is too big of a company to say you got a virus. It's not going to pop
individually.
It's not going to pop up on like your website or whatever you're browsing on the web. It will come from like Defender or something, and 9 times out of 10 it's going to take care of it in the background. if you don't know what the numbers is to call whoever, you can always Google like the actual number. If you have a pop-up asking you like input bank details or go get a gift card, call your bank and ask them about whatever you see on the thing. Always trust but verify. Verify with whoever say that they need the info. Verify with them.
And you can always hang up and call back. Like you can always, if it's an emergency, you hanging up and calling back, they're still gonna get you to the right people, and you still go. So like, don't allow them to prey upon the feeling that it's time sensitive, because if you hang up and call back, it's still time sensitive, right? You're still handling business timely, but they do prey upon that. And also, there's the scam where they pretend to be like somebody that you know that's in need. Hang up and call that person. Actually, hang up and call that person. Like if I call and I'm saying I'm your grandchild, hang up and actually call your grandchild, or their parent, to figure out if they actually are in need, because they can spoof any number,
Yeah, for sure. And then also, I hate to say this because they can do deep fakes and stuff now. However,
that's where it gets nasty.
If you do not hear an American accent on the other end, and you hear like a whole bunch of chatter in the background, it's a call center, hang up.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
Hang up.
There's no risk in you hanging up and calling back. I've had the bank call me to verify transactions, and I'm hanging up and I'm calling back just to make sure.
Yeah.
I'm just making sure.
Yeah. What am I going to say? Let me see, because they talked about on this thing how they get them. Also, the other thing is, don't let them remote into your computer, because what they're going to do is they're going to put some spyware or type of virus or something on your computer.
I will say this. Nobody has business remoting into your computer as a single person. Like, the only people that should be remoting into your computer are, like, your job. They're as a...
Well, no, this is their personals.
That's what I'm saying. Nobody should be remoting into... There's no need, if there's something actually wrong with my computer as a consumer, and this is my personal device, I am responsible for going to pay to someone to get it off. Mm-hmm. They're not, they don't remote into your computer. I don't know about a service that you can pay for where they're just like, yeah, I got it, let me just remote into your computer. Now, if you work for a place and this is their device, that's a different story. But like personally, nobody should be remoting into your computer. Point blank, period.
Yeah. They just don't understand a lot of stuff because, like I said, I used to work. Think about it. I used to support the screeners.
Yeah.
The TSA. Some of these people didn't even know, like, hey, I'll be like, open up, Microsoft Internet Explorer. What's that? So not only they're working at a deficit of, like, in order for some of them classes to be effective, they need to have a foundation test like, hey, what do you know about computers? Mm-hmm. Hey, this awareness class is for people that knows this about computers. You need to take computer basics one-on-one at the library. Yep. So now you're not trying to understand everything we're talking about, and it'll be better for you. So they need to just make like curriculums for old people. Mm-hmm. And
it's definitely an understocked population, 1,000%.
Yeah, because they're getting a lot of money for them.
Because like, if my grandma ever think again she finna get a free iPhone, that's what's taking me out. I said, girl, do you know how much iPhones cost? You is not getting no free iPhone. Yeah. It don't work like that.
Yeah, for sure. What you got?
Graduation season. So let's talk a little bit more about why commencement speeches are so bad. So obviously we know it's graduation season across the country. We have graduates that are sitting in uncomfortable chairs. Some of these folks are outside, listening to speeches that are almost undeniably forgettable. But what we've seen is that the format of these speeches has not changed. You have somebody that tells you to chase your dreams, fail forward, you can make a difference. Maybe they give a joke about smartphones. These days they're cracking jokes about AI. Maybe they give you a poem, you clap, you leave, you remember none of it. Now, the problem isn't the speakers, it's the impossible ask. I think the impossible ask is asking for a commencement speech to inspire thousands of people from different backgrounds, majors, cultures, plans, and lives in 10 to 20 minutes without being too political, too controversial, or too real. The result that we typically see is a motivational poster read out loud. The speeches people actually remember tend to do one of three things. One, they get specific instead of universal. If you think about David Foster Wallace's This Is Water at Kenyon in 2005, it's still quoted 20 years later. Or they get uncomfortable if you think about Steve Jobs' speech at Stanford, where he actually told graduates that he was about to die. Or, last but not least, they get genuinely funny without being sanitized. What we're seeing this year, there was a valedictorian whose mic got cut off when they basically went off script, and the recording of what they were actually trying to say actually blew up and went viral because it was so raw and real. And I feel like that's what the audiences actually need to hear. I was in Atlanta a couple weeks ago for my cousin's commencement speech. I won't name the school because the speech was awful. Like, it was so awful that as soon as she finished speaking, people were clapping because they were so happy that the speech was over. And I think that it's just very difficult to, like I said, give a speech for thousands of people, and it kind of flows and fits for everyone. A lot of things are specific to cultures, religions, career paths that you may be choosing. So I think that it would be interesting to see the dynamic and the topic of conversation, like just being charged with living your life in a different way than what we typically see at those ceremonies. Like, it's always black and white, cut and dry, dream big, may be the change you wish to see in the world type of energy. And I think it would be dope to see what it would be like going forward, because we have so many different forms of media that you can pull. Like, imagine Drewski giving a commencement speech. That commencement speech would be dope.
Yeah. I've also been seeing how people been doing the doom and gloom stuff for some of the people, because I get it, but I think you are trying to prepare people, like, because I think a lot of people go through school and feel like school played me.
Oh, 1,000%.
So I think a lot of speakers come in like, hey, with AI and stuff here now, y'all need to do X, Y, Z, that type of stuff. And it probably come off a certain way for some people.
I saw this black lady that was talking about how most people get up here and say you should be scared, but she was basically saying, like, feel empowered and charged up to go and do and be dope. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you remember any of your graduation speeches? I remember my graduate speech. It was a guy from Fidelity, and he was basically like, I remember it because he was like, yeah, we hiring y'all in this class. So if you need a job, I remember that.
I don't remember none of them. I don't think I was paying attention. I think I was just ready to be done.
Yeah.
Only graduation speech I remember is from Drumline at the end. Remember, you can fly. That's the only thing I remember.
Have you been seeing, like, the clips on TikTok? You know, when they was playing on, the Purple was playing on their drums? That was, like, not scripted.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's what made it so believable.
No, for real. Like, literally.
Yeah, Morris Brown, A&T. So while we are here, let's go ahead and have some fun. Let's do some comedic relief real quick. I thought this was pretty funny.
I got 2 more.
Okay.
And they're just Harry Potter and
I don't know why your thing keep on circling around, but here we go.
Touch base on February one last time. It's ultimately a question of, okay, how can we streamline optimization within the irregular calendar constraints we're being forced to navigate? Right. So,
so important to elevate that. So important. I think with February, it really starts with just heightened time awareness around that reduced execution bandwidth, right?
Yes.
And if I could just piggyback off that
go
real
ahead.
quick, without getting into the weeds, I think what we're dealing with here is a length disadvantage time cycle.
Yes.
Right. So,
Yeah. And just to kind of stitch
go
that
ahead.
together, like, functionally, I think it's a matter
Right.
of, okay, how do we solve for less month? Right.
But it pretty much like getting on a Zoom call with people that make 10x your salary. But that was just a funny one. I thought was pretty funny. But one that was pretty interesting was, did you hear about the dude that worked at Atlassian that got laid off? Atlassian.
No.
I know y'all probably don't use it because y'all.
I've heard of it, though.
But Confluence, Jira, and everything. Check this out.
This might actually be the most epic fumble I've ever seen a company make. Here's what happened. Last quarter, Atlassian laid off 1,600 employees, around 10% of their workforce, to free up budget for AI. One of those people was a senior engineer who worked for them for 8 years, building the systems behind all of Atlassian's products. After taking the hit, he sat down and recorded a 38-minute YouTube video walking through every system he built for them without violating the terms of his contract. He provided the full blueprint of 8 years of his work, completely for free for anyone to study. The video has over 1.5 million views so far. Atlassian is one of many companies making the dire mistake of aggressively cutting their best employees to fund AI. But instead of cutting your top engineers and operators, you know, the people who actually build your systems and know how they work, thinking you can just replace them with a ChatGPT subscription, the real move is to give those all-star employees access to the AI tools they need to 10x their capabilities and outputs. Like, imagine if Atlassian had just given this guy unlimited Claude API access and let him cook. That would have been a gigaplay that would probably have compounded their investment exponentially, but they didn't. Instead, they got a 38-minute teardown of their own system for the entire world to see. Don't be Atlassian. Don't forget that the real drivers of your company's value are the people who build and operate your systems. Use AI to empower them, not replace them. Follow me for more AI tips and tricks.
I mean, I get what he's saying, but it's not realistic. That's not a realistic business model.
I think it is. From our talks this week, it was very realistic of more to enhance and empower, not to let y'all go.
I mean, people are going to be let go. It's unrealistic for him to say, oh, just empower them and don't let them go.
Well, I think I was just saying that because think about it now. That guy's going to probably go to a competitor.
For 1,000% and go get hired.
Yeah. And so
quick.
so that's the whole, I think, issue is like, hey, y'all are doing this. Y'all making the most money ever, laying people off, investing all this money, and it still isn't necessarily making people so much more efficient because they're spending all that time working on this stuff and they're not getting none of their other work done. So I can see both ends of the spectrum when it comes to that. I think most of that probably was as an echo on the episode. We shall see. If so, I'll be able to fix it in the back end, but I hope not. I guess I can do this one right quick. I thought this was pretty interesting. Department of Education talking about the non-professional degrees.
The Department of Education has now come out with a list of degrees that they are saying will no longer be considered professional. And this list will take effect July of 2026. Some of the degrees that they said are no longer professional include a physical therapist, an occupational therapist, advanced nurse practitioner, nurse practitioners, a physician assistant, teachers, a speech-language pathologist, and there's more. But when I saw this again, I couldn't believe it. Because what does that mean on the back end? On the back end, that means that they are attacking female-dominant fields. That's a major blow right there. And secondly, people that are interested in those specific degrees will have a lesser chance in getting the federal funding that they need to get in those programs. And people voted for this. It's becoming to the point.
Is the funding being cut for those specific areas? I think that's the bigger impact that I personally see. Like, they're gonna do whatever they're gonna do, but like the funding being cut is what's actually going to stop people from being able to pursue those type of degrees, and I think that's lame. Period. I would say like a lot more gangster, terrible things, but I'm gonna keep it cute.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting how they deem something to be professional because I feel like if I have to go somewhere and get paid for it and I have to learn to do it, it's professional.
Who is you?
The definition
Who
of,
is you to say it ain't professional?
Let me see what the definition of what professional is actually.
It's gonna be starting something. Gotta be, yeah. What's your favorite Michael Jackson song?
Probably Human Nature. Engaged in a specified activity as one main paid occupation rather than a pastime. Habitually making a feature of a particular activity or attribute. Worthy of or appropriate to a professional person, competent, skillful, or assured. Relating to or belonging to a profession. These are all professional degrees.
I just don't have nothing good to say, so I'm going to be quiet.
Words mean things. What did you want to tackle again?
I have some entertainment and culture items for us. So HBO dropped the first full trailer of its Harry Potter TV series in March and announced an earlier than expected premiere Christmas Day of 2026. Oh my God, I can't wait. Like 10 out of 10. First of all, Christmas is my favorite season. Harry Potter, throw the series right up in there. So season 1, titled Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, will run 8 episodes and adapt Rowling's first novel. If all goes well, the series will run 7 seasons, 1 per book. Nike also dropped a Harry Potter sneaker collection this month tied to the series launch, including Hogwarts house themed Air Force Ones. They sold out in under an hour. Which house would you belong in if you were in Harry Potter?
Slytherin. I don't know nothing about it.
You would be in Slytherin for real?
I don't know nothing about it.
That's slimy. That's not where you would supposed to be wanting to be. Like them is like.
I don't know nothing about the show.
You gonna have to watch.
You ever seen the old video when Lil Uzi moved? He said, "I don't know. I just moved here." He said,
No, literally.
That's me. I don't know.
I would probably be giving.
Is Gryffindor a thing too?
I would be Gryffindor or Ravenclaw. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. So that's like different houses, and it's like Slytherin is like Malfoy and his dad, and like they're not the best people.
Okay.
Until you get deeper in, it's it's
it's
a whole thing.
I think the also issue is going to be with me to ever getting into it is because I'm an adult now. I probably won't like it because it was written for a certain demographic when they were younger.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the same
But
thing.
I think that anybody can like still pick up. Like they're still good. I will say though, the first one is tough to get through because it's very long. But the first one is like. It's enough.
While we're here, did you watch Nemesis?
No, it's on my to-do list though.
Okay.
Okay, so what did you think?
I like it.
Is it like you ready for the next season? You like it? Type of
Yeah, they did it perfectly to where I know for a fact the rating's gonna be good if they get a second season.
It's only 8 episodes though, right? Yeah.
Similar to Power's first season, they only had 8 episodes.
So is it giving similar energy as Power?
Not
Like what
really.
what is the plot?
A detective is trying to catch some criminals.
Okay.
High stake.
Multiple criminals, not just one person.
A group of thieves. So kind of like some dinner thieves, SWAT type. It's like
Okay.
I think they did really good on the soundtrack. People are hating one of the main actors, the protagonist, who actually
Light-skinned dude.
To me, he's the antagonist. I call him Christian Keys Jr.
Yeah. I know you're talking about.
I think he did a hell of a job.
They saying he can't act.
I think he did.
Wait, is this that guy that got married with the wedding with the wife and stuff? The Tyler Perry guy?
No,
That's not him.
you think about Amp. You're thinking about the dude that's married to I forgot what the girl
Yeah,
what her name
you
is.
know what I'm talking about. That's not him though.
Nah. This dude did a good job. He like I said, if the dude had everybody hating him, that means he did a great job.
That part.
He's supposed to be an irrational, hot-headed cop. It's not supposed to come off as super cool, calm, and collected. So I'm like, the people who wrote it and probably producers, they work with them people. Like for people saying the guy can't act, they don't have nothing that can show me they can act either. And so that's why I just hate it so much. I was like, it was definitely like.
So the acting is pretty decent.
Yeah, they had some decent stars in there. So like you have
Who's the? Let me look it up.
I forget who
What's it called again?
Nemesis. I forget what his real name is, but Frank Mitchell was in there. Moesha's daddy. The dark skinned lady, I forgot what her name is, but she used to be on Hanging with Mr. Cooper. She's on it. The chick who played Janae in the game, she's one of the leading ladies in it. And this other chick who plays Ebony.
Oh, I like him. What's his role?
He's the antagonist.
Okay.
He's one of the main. His name is Coltrane Wilder. Daniel. I call him Daniel still.
Yeah, there's a lot of new faces. A lot of people I haven't seen.
Yeah, I mean, I like that.
I'm gonna watch anything by the writers of my favorite. Anything, I'm going to watch it.
Yeah, I think she did a good job. I could tell it was her writing. I could, I definitely like the soundtrack.
It's like
I like the
it's like on
calculations.
Apple Music type, or just in
It
the
could probably
just,
be.
or you're just saying like just throughout the show.
Remember, I mean, you could remember Insecure used to post their soundtrack, so it's probably on there.
But no, I'm just saying like you're just saying they have good music throughout the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's how I felt about Insecure. Like every Bob. No, what was the show with the guy that died that I was just distraught? What's the show that we used to watch? The lawyer, Jax.
You talking about recently?
That had a good soundtrack. They had a good soundtrack too. Yeah.
Who died?
The guy.
Oh, you talking about
Yeah. I can't think of his name right now. But
Yeah.
yeah.
the one who didn't do it.
Yeah.
The one I used to call Josh him. I forgot what his name was.
What was Reasonable Doubt? Ozzy.
Yeah, Ozzy. Let me see. I think I got. I think Police seized the first VPN. I think that was a good one. I just want to see somebody struggle with the payment. All right, there we go. So, police seize first VPN.
Seize.
I said seize.
Oh no, I'm just making sure I heard you.
Yeah, I said
Yeah,
seize. The no-log service that logged everything between May 19th through May 20th, 2026, Europol and law enforcement from 27 countries executed Operation Saffron, dismantling First VPN, one of the most widely used anonymization services in cybercrime underground. They seized 33 servers, arrested the suspected administrator in Ukraine, and shut down all primary domains, including one. They seized 33 servers, arrested the suspected administrator in Ukraine, and shut down all primary domains, including onevpns.com, onevpn.net, or onevpns.net, and associated dark web onion sites. First VPN was advertised on the Russian-speaking cybercrime forums as a bulletproof, no-log VPN that ignored law enforcement requests. Ransomware operators, fraud networks, and data thieves used it to mask their identities and infrastructure while conducting attacks. Here's the kicker. Europol didn't just show up and flip the switch. I just flipped the switch. Flip. They had secretly infiltrated the VPN service before taking it down, monitoring traffic, collecting intelligence, and identifying users. When the service finally went offline, investigators already had data on thousands of users. 33 servers seized across 27 countries. Administrator arrested in Ukraine after a house search. 506 identified users. Data shared with international partners. 83 operational leads generated for further investigations. Europol sent notifications to criminal users. We know who you are. That's some Liam Nelson stuff right there.
Literally, I know who you are. I know where you're at.
The investigation began in 2021. France and the Netherlands led the joint investigation team supported by Europol, Eurojust, and cybersecurity firm Bitdefender. The most important detail here isn't the seizure, it's the law enforcement was inside the infrastructure watching before they shut it down. Every user who thought they were anonymous had already been identified. This is the new playbook. Don't just seize criminal infrastructure, infiltrate it first and harvest intelligence. It's kind of like when the feds are already on you, but they just got to catch you in the act. This is what that was. The criminals who relied on no-log VPNs to stay invisible just learned that the no-log promises means nothing if the service itself is compromised. If you're doing anything online that requires real privacy, use tools you can verify, not services marketed on criminal forums. I don't know if I played.
So, I don't know. What do you think?
I want to know more, I guess, like how many, I want to know who are the people that were all involved using it, like what attacking groups were using it so you can figure out what they're going to go to next.
I think that's also like just a dope thing to like research and know and understand about these different. I wonder, like, that'd be something good for me to research. Is just like, how did researching threat actors start? Like,
I mean, they've been doing it.
who who was like, you know what, this looked like something we had saw last time. We just gonna put this.
I mean,
in
a
that
lot of the
group.
stuff that we do in cyber is built from like war and stuff. So
1000%.
reconnaissance and
Yep.
all the terms that they use, it's the same things that they use in the military with their threat intel. It's just different.
I have Michael, the Michael Jackson biopic. So it has made $715 million, and a sequel is coming after years of delays, legal rewrites, and release date shuffles. Antoine's Michael biopic finally hit theaters on April 24th of 2026, and the box office responded immediately. 4 weekends in, the film has crossed the $715 million mark worldwide, 291 million domestic, 422 million international. It debuted at number 1 and has defended its position aggressively. The film stars Michael Jackson's nephew Jafar Jackson as MJ in his feature debut, and the early word is that the performance is genuinely compelling. I can give it to you. There were actually moments in the movie where I was like, that has to be Michael. That looks like Michael. Is that CGI? Like, it was just too on point. The supporting cast includes Coleman Domingo as Joe Jackson. He ate it down. Nia Long as Katherine Jackson. She ate that down. Miles Teller as John Branca. MJ's attorney. Lorenz Tate as Barry Gordy. And Laura Harrier as pioneering music executive Suzanne DePassy. I think that's how you say it. What you need to know about the final cut: the film covers Jackson's life from childhood through the release of Off the Wall in 1979, not his full career. The original version reportedly included a dramatization of one of his accusers, but a past legal settlement with that individual bared any such depiction. So the third act had to be completely rewritten. A second film covering the thriller era onward is now confirmed to be in development.
You know what they've left out too, though?
What?
That they're not going to be able to talk about?
What?
Diana Ross.
That's what I just talked about.
And how she groomed him.
That's what I was literally talking about.
Really?
Yeah, that's one of his accusers.
No, she not.
Oh, no, they were talking about the kids. No,
Yeah.
No, I was actually thinking about that as I read that. No. Yeah. Diana said, keep me out your business. Keep me out of there. But, like, when I voiced this to my family, because I went to see it with my family, and we kind of, like, talked about it, they were like, she would be not here with us today if she can still be charged. You know what I mean? I enjoyed the movie 1000%. I'm a Michael Jackson like huge fan, so I mean it's about Michael, not about the Jacksons. And I feel like a lot of people were like comparing it like, oh, the Jackson 5 was better. It was about the Jacksons.
It's a different movie.
This is solely about Michael. And I think that if you go see it with that understanding, I think you can really appreciate it.
I do wish they would have, when Kid Michael, I wish what's the only one he performed? How many songs did he perform?
The little boy?
Yeah.
A lot.
Like what? I'm trying to remember.
I don't remember.
Because I'm like, I don't think I heard.
I wanna be where you are.
Did he do that?
Nope, he didn't.
Did he do
No, he didn't do that one.
the one that Smokey Robinson redo?
Oh, This Christmas?
Who's Loving You? Mm-hmm. I want to hear that.
I mean, why is the kid singing that? Immediate. Like,
Hey, Lil Mike, listen for my Gen Zers. If you've never heard that, Mike bodied it.
it was
Mike bodied it.
I thought, what I appreciated being able to hear Michael's raw vocals, like no music, just like his raw vocals throughout the film from when he was a kid all the way up until, he got older. I appreciate them showcasing how smart he was because I don't think we really knew that from the outside.
I'm gonna do like
looking in.
Speak for yourself.
Well, I didn't know that he was that. I didn't think he was dumb, but I just didn't know that he was like that smart about animals and just being able to like tell you.
There's
everything.
a running theory that people believe Michael's on the spectrum.
I was going to add that conversation to the end, and I could resonate and understand why they would say that.
I think most celebrities, performers, entertainers are actually on the spectrum because, they get hyper fixated on something, but that is what makes them them.
There were so many pieces to him that I'm so glad that they shared with us. Just how smart he was, how sensitive he was. Like, we knew Michael was sensitive. We knew he was, smart. But to the degree in which we didn't know. Another thing that really, 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 really bothered me, I'm going to try to not roll my eyes outside my head, was the whole Pepsi scandal. So in the American Dream film, we know he was burned, but we didn't really understand how severe the burn was. And I had a problem with that in the movie because I didn't know that he was like hurt that severely. Like, I knew he was hurt on the top of his head, but I didn't know that he suffered nerve damage for the rest of his life because of that.
Matter of fact, as a kid, I used to laugh at that part. My head, because he just
get out of here,
because he would just roll down the stairs. Yeah. They didn't ever show the
It was bad. I appreciated them describing to us the level of severity of his injury because it wasn't really talked about, in the American Dream. But that started him being on pain medicine. We don't talk about that. We talk about all the medicine that he was taking throughout his life, but we don't talk about it stemming from that situation because, again, I knew he was hurt, but I just didn't know that to the degree.
But
like third degree.
That brought up his only nephew. I feel like that's really like black for real.
I'm screaming.
He was talking about, hey, no, my uncle was murdered. He talked about it.
Jafar?
No, not Jafar.
Another nephew.
But you know what's funny though? We watching this movie, but Jafar mama got babies by his uncle. So he got.
No, because people don't know. People don't know.
Brothers and cousins, like brothers and sisters. So
she
they
has
buzzins.
babies. She has
two by Randy, right?
Yeah. She was with Randy first. And then her and Randy broke up and she got with Jermaine. And Jermaine's his dad. And they were living if you watch the movie, you saw the family was living together. They were still living together as BM and BD. With both brothers. She still lived in the house with the family. I think she moved out in like 2005 or something. It just caused me to do like a lot of research. But
yeah. And then that's when TikTok started being shady and start showing you like every time Michael says, including Jermaine, like all type of stuff.
I love all my brothers, including Jermaine. I love all my brothers. But I mean, I just I can't wait to see more of the film. I can't wait till they dive into him actually having vitiligo. Like, I can't wait till they talk more about things that we just didn't know about.
So the other part that was pretty cool was, he got the Crips and the Bloods together, right?
Yes.
So there's Beat
It? Was that Beat It?
Yeah, Beat It.
Beat It, yeah.
One of my favorite podcasts, even though they don't make really anything new anymore, it's called the Did You Miss Me podcast. And that name starts from, if anybody ever seen Martin, Varnell Hill was on there, Tommy Davidson, and he had the thing and said, "Did you miss me?" That's where it come from. Anyway. There's an episode. You can type this in right now. Michael Jackson. If you type it on YouTube, it'll come up. Michael Jackson and Tupac had a fight.
And then I heard Michael knocked him out.
I ain't hear that.
I saw it on TikTok. Well, TikTok be lying.
So one of the guys that's on this special guest named Boo Capone. He an OG for real from LA. He was like Mike was folk. But yeah, Boo Capone is an OG. And he talking about who is it? Is it Quincy Jones' daughter that's like Mike, like goddaughter or something like that, Gaddafi or whatever her name is.
And Tupac was disrespecting her, and that's how it popped off.
They got down. He said they had a little squabble. He like Bubbles was finna do something. He's like, yeah, man. He said everybody tell you the reason why I believe Boo not lying is because everybody tell you that voice Mike used to talking and that ain't his real voice.
Yeah.
And I also believe it because have you ever heard DDG real voice?
Yeah. 1,000. Yeah. I've heard Michael's real voice on YouTube somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I believe. I was like.
I think that so we know Joe was a mother. We know he was a mother. We can leave it there. But I think the realest thing that Joe said throughout the film was when he was telling Michael, you're going to get you got all this money. You're going to get these people around you and they're not going to treat you how we treat you and how we understand you in this household. And I didn't realize and know that they were like living together as adult men for so long. Like, that is, you go see the movie.
Yeah, it's like a compound. It reminds me of Greenleaf.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
I would love a compound.
What? Now, minus the Greenleaf drama, 1,000%.
I mean, it's always going to be drama when you stay with your family.
I don't need none of that.
All right, so CompTIA raised their prices again. Here's what you need to know. CompTIA has a quiet annual tradition, raise certification prices every year, typically in late spring or early June, by 3 to 7%. It happened in June 2025. Based on that pattern, another increase is imminent for 2026. And the current prices are already significant. Here's prices currently stand in the U.S. Before any 2026 increase. The CompTIA A Plus per exam is $265, $530 in total.
Jesus.
CompTIA Network Plus is $358. CompTIA Security Plus, $425. CompTIA CISA Plus, $466. And CompTIA Cast Plus, $512. And this is why I'm always telling people, I ain't for y'all getting a whole bunch of certs, especially no A Plus. You don't need to pay no $500 to get no A Plus. I'm
Bro,
sorry.
like that's insane.
You can pay the same amount to get the IT course at Course Careers and get much more bang for your buck. I'm sorry. Or you can do the CamTech Help Desk course. But these are voucher prices directly from CompTIA. Authorized partners at CompTIA academic stores.edu email required can offer 10 to 50% discounts. The academic store is the biggest discount available. Security Plus drops from $425 to roughly $213 with a valid.edu email. That's fire.
That's more of a appropriate price range for me.
Right. Why does this matter for the textual chatter community? Because the people most likely pursuing CompTIA certifications, career changers, help desk workers trying to move up, people early in their IT journey are often self-funding. A 5% price hike might not sound like much, but on a $425 exam that you might need to retake,
That's the gag.
the cost adds up fast.
That you might need to retake. That's the gag.
So buy your voucher before June if you're planning to test in the next 12 months. Vouchers are valid for 12 months from purchase. Check CompTIA's academic store if you have any affiliation with the school. Look into employer reimbursement. Many IT employers and federal contractors will cover cert costs after you pass. Bundle vouchers with retake packages from authorized partners for insurance on first-time attempts.
Bruh. $425 for the Security Plus. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, that's why people feel like they finna be working right after it.
That's a lot of money for you. And then we know people fail it 1, 2, 3 or more times.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, I mean, inflation, everything is going up. I'm not mad at CompTIA, though. CompTIA know what they doing with that.
It's a
As a
monopoly.
business move, it's a smart move to make because we have already talked about time and time again this CompTIA monopoly that's going on. And, you know, everybody just, oh, Security Plus. Oh, Network Plus, whatever it is. What is the CASP?
The cast?
That's
it's
the
on
cloud
there.
one?
No.
What's that one?
Certified something security practitioner. The cloud one's just Cloud Plus.
It is Cloud Plus. Yeah. It's just a lot of money. I'm not going to lie. That's a lot of money for all
Cloud
of those.
Plus, Linux Plus. They got some other ones that
Linux Plus.
they're not really worth nothing. They just slap their name on it. They got an AI one.
I think the
coming out
Linux
with.
Plus one is good.
It might be, but I go off of what do I see on job descriptions. I've never seen
Linux
on
Plus on a job description. I haven't. But it is still a good cert if you're trying to learn Linux.
That's a fact. That's a fact. And let me see. Did you cover your last stuff? Mm-hmm. Okay. Let me see. Did I have anything else for y'all, man? I also say be careful on the roads. Don't be like me. Even though it wasn't my fault, but hey, it is what it is. But other than that, I don't know. What you got planned for the summer? Since summer's up around Roslyn.
Just taking care of my mental health. I have a book signing next month. Yay. So excited. She's so excited. I have a solo trip. My anniversary is coming up in July. Honestly, I just want to be outside and feel the sun and feel the sand between my toes. So I'm being more focused in on just taking care of myself, being gentle, making sure I take space away from tech and laptops and talks and discussions and customers. I feel like I have been in this go mindset for a long time, and I haven't taken really like any time and space, like intentional time and space away. So just being more intentional about that and continuing to learn, you know. I do want to finish the next book that's in the series that I'm kind of working on. Work on building my Substack back up and doing like a lot of the things that I was doing before that I just kind of had to step back from because so much came with getting the book actually out and published itself. So just kind of doing some things like that, still staying in the gym, still filming, stepping into my own lane in my own world and actually recording content for Cybershortieee and putting that out for folks to be able to consume and continuing to kind of build up my brand and my company there. But yeah, that's kind of what I have in store for the summer. I just want it to feel like a good summer well spent. What about you? What you got in store for the summer?
I'm an old man, so I don't really have much. Get in the gym, spend time with the kids.
Any like trips or anything? Places to go?
Probably not, unless it's something like super like last minute. So do some more. We got some more work to do on the channel, and hopefully I can bring out some of the other IPs I want to launch. And
isn't that so exciting? Like the things you have in store, things you want to like.
yeah, for me it is. It's just I always figure out how to scale it. Well, not scale it, but how to make time for it. So that, and eventually, I think I said I was going to do it. I'm going to do on LinkedIn. I'm going to make a form for like we're going to do like if people want to intern and like get into social media, so we're going to do like an intern social media
that would be
manager,
amazing.
intern producer, and maybe something else, and figure out if they want to help out with the team, and then they can have some metrics to put behind their stuff, and go be great. And I also want to. I got a friend to do this now, so I actually meant to text her while I was out, but then I thought about her late at night, so I was like, I don't want to text them late. I need to text them the next day. So now I'm thinking about it now. I'm shoot a text right after this. But I know she helps businesses film their shows.
Film?
Like podcasts and stuff like that. So we talked about that. So I'm like, yo, how did that work out for you? Because I would love to do that too. But I also know I don't have the flexibility to do it
Big
on
HD.
certain days.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got some more stuff in
You
in the
could
works.
honestly like take over the game with telling people how to like build up their network. You know.
I've been trying. You
Yeah.
know, some people don't want to listen. But and also, guys, let us know if y'all like this layout. I still got to fix some stuff with this middle cam, but all in all, I think it's much easier versus the way that I was trying to position it the first time. It would have worked more if we was like in one corner, but since we
I
weren't,
like this. I like this look.
yeah, since we were in the
I
corner,
personally like this.
yeah, I think it works better as well. But yeah, man, I appreciate everybody that's been tuning in with us. As always, tune into the newsletter, audio podcast, go to the Patreon, get the book, Hostile Takeover.
Book.
And until next time, we out. Peace.